Now, for more on Microsoft's HoloLens business and future outlook, I'm joined by Bill Ho. He's a principal at 556 Ventures, a consulting firm that focuses on the telecoms and technology space. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you.
Now, Microsoft wrapped its fiscal year with an impressive performance, especially in its cloud computing business. Other areas didn't fare so well. So what was your reaction?
I think in general, it was a positive reaction. The market responded well as well. So as you said, they beat last year's numbers. So year over year, they were positive. But I think the takeaway was the investor response. So after hours trading, the stock went up $2. So that's in the stock market. That's huge. As you said, the business aspect of it is really, the strategy is in its cloud. So Azure is what stood out for me. So Azure as a line of business has posted the 8th quarter of triple-digit growth in earnings, in revenue. So that is the takeaway that I think a lot of the investors, including the people on the earnings call, focused on is Azure. Azure is basically the Microsoft growth engine.
Now, Bill, strategy-wise, as you look at how they fare in terms of the new tech landscape, how would you say they're faring so far?
I think from the tech landscape, they're moving from, as we know in the old days, where you buy a CD and in Office, those are what Microsoft calls transactional. What they're moving towards is a new business model where they want people to be with them for a long time. They use the term called customer lifetime value. So basically, they want you to stick with them for a long time. And so moving Microsoft Office from a unit that you install in your hard drive and having it in the cloud wherever you are and having updates free as part of being a subscriber is where they're moving. So
something more along the lines of an ecosystem like Apple has been able to accomplish.
Sure, it's moving to the cloud. And the cloud, because Azure is a cloud platform, is collaborative and makes use of that.
Now, in terms of some of the misses, we saw that Microsoft has said it will miss its target of getting its Windows 10 operating system up and running by 2018. Now, why is that happening?
Well, I think it's because of the phone business. So the phone business is when they bought Nokia Devices Group, it didn't perform well. And so in the last 2 years, they've been, I guess, getting rid of it. So in May, they had a huge layoff. They sold that the feature phone business. And so the thought about having Windows on there and having smartphones with Windows is very, very difficult, especially with the smartphone market controlled by Apple and Android.
So that's phones. Let's also look at the outlook for some of Microsoft's other projects. Let's look at its Surface line. Lots of rumors about specs and release dates. What can you tell us?
From the standpoint of earnings, they point to Surface Book and Surface 4 as the leaders. And so as models leave with older specs, new ones come in. And so they say that the market and the subscribers are responding well to that.
Now, another thing we're going to talk about is the incredibly popular Pokemon Go game. Clearly a winner for Nintendo, but could it also be a win for Microsoft when it comes to HoloLens developers and their mixed reality headset?
Yeah, I think that the category is known as augmented reality, which is different from virtual reality. Augmented reality is that you get to see your surroundings, as opposed to virtual reality, you put on this and you're basically blinders and you're immersed into it. So from the standpoint of Pokemon Go, it just shows that the consumer audience, not necessarily the business audience, like it. And we've seen all the stories about people getting arrested, people getting killed, unfortunately, and all those faux pas. And so that gives impetus to the category of which Microsoft's in it.
Now, what about moving beyond gaming? We mentioned, obviously, consumers who are playing the game, but what about other uses when it comes to mainstream adoption of HoloLens? We saw that Google Glass didn't fare so well.
Right.
Could HoloLens share the same fate?
I think the lessons of Google Glass is probably learned all around. So HoloLens, I think, is just a platform of which more developers come and just bring different ideas. So it's not like it's not invented here syndrome. If you have more developers to say, here's something and just make something of it, it'll just blossom. And so a lot of people we'll just take the cues from Google Glass failure and just improve on marketing, applications,
Right.
et cetera.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see if it does share the same fate. Thank you so much for your insights. Bill Ho, Principal at 556 Ventures.
Thank you.